there is definitely a case for banning or removing the burqa from certain situations.
So you believe in free speech but not freedom of expression?
She said there's in a case for banning the burqa in certain situations, and he said, but he don't believe in freedom of expression. She didn't say that. She said there's certainly a case for banning the burqa in certain situations. That's what she says. She's going to go on to explain it more later on. But they all attack her. And she's actually, what she's saying is reasonable in my opinion. It's a reasonable opinion, what she's holding as an English white woman in England. She's in England and she's saying an English culture. She's talking about a culture where she was born, her country, white country. For clarification, when I said white country, I mean UK is a majority white country. England. If she was in Saudi Arabia, it would be different. If she's in another country, a Muslim country, in Afghanistan or wherever, Pakistan, she'd be different. But she's in England and she's talking about England because she's white and she's English. That's what she's talking about. She's not being racist. Actually, there's no racism involved. She's just talking about the culture. Listen to what she says. Listen to her. Listen carefully. They're all attacking, but listen to what she's saying. In my opinion, it makes sense. It's common sense what she's saying. It's simple common sense. It's UK, England. I don't understand what the problem is. What she's saying makes sense. She's not been insulting anybody. Look at the way she's putting it across and they're all attacking. Have a listen more of the video. Have a listen to more of the video.
Not the case. I think you're twisting what I said. Yes, I believe in free speech. If you're suggesting
so should women not be allowed to dress how they want?
It's a nuanced argument. Some women would like to wear the burqa. That's fine. I don't really believe that. I think that it's a coercion because that's often how it's expressed. But I do think there's very important situations where you should not be wearing the burqa, such as if you're a teacher in a school, such as if you're giving evidence in court, and many other situations.
Literally said it may be in courts and in schools. You know, when teaching children, maybe you should be wearing it in them situations. That's reasonable. That's a reasonable approach that she's advocating there. She's not insulting anybody. It's a reasonable approach. But watch the way they all pile in, just because she made that comment. Listen to the way they all pile in on her now. In other words, these people that are piling in on her are actually virtue signalling. The virtue signal. She's actually making sense, reasonable comment that she's saying about the burqa. But all these other people, they're trying to virtue signal. You know, that's what they're doing. Listen to how they all jump in on her. Listen.
We are a Western country. This is a cultural practice that does not sit well with our traditions.
I don't see why any politician should tell a woman what she can or can't wear. Why should Robert Jenrick control what a woman wears?
That woman says she doesn't think any politician should tell a woman what she can and can't wear. She's not saying that politicians should tell women what they can and can't wear. She's specifically talking about a specific thing, the burqa, where you can't see the face and all this. That's what she's talking about. She's not saying, you know, Robert Jenrick telling people not to wear this and not to wear that. All women should be doing this. She's not saying all women should be controlled by Robert Jenrick or whatever his name is. She's not saying that. She's saying that she's talking about a specific thing, the burqa, and obviously faces hidden and all the rest of it. She's saying that basically in England there's an issue with that because it's a different kind of, there's an issue in England with that. It doesn't sit well. That's the comment she made. To me, it's reasonable what she's saying. I mean, I don't understand how people can be offended. You know what I mean? She's not being. It's just reasonable comment that she's making, in my opinion. Anyway, listen to some more of what she says, because I listen to more of the discussion, because they literally pile in on the woman, and she's only making it a reasonable point, but listen to it all pile in. Have a listen to some more of the video.
I think the point here, to be honest, is that those women are being controlled by their husbands.
No,
that's
absolutely
How about in court?
I mean, come on, they are.
Some of these women are being controlled by the husband. The other lady jumps in and says,
No. How about in court?
I mean, come on, they are.
She said it herself. She went, well, some of them are. But when she said it, the other woman, she said some of them, because in that culture, the men are in control. It's just fact. It is fact. The women are not in control in these cultures. You know, Islamic culture, the man is in charge of his wife. His wife's not the one telling. They're not equal. The man is in charge of the family. He's in charge of the family. He's in charge of the wife. And even and a lot of it's actually a lot of their sort of way they treat women in comparison to the Western way of viewing women is completely different. Really, a lot of it's different. I won't go into it. You know yourself. You don't need me to explain it to you. basically a tradition, the Islamic sort of tradition, the way they treat women. It's not the same as the way Western people treat women. When you see an Islamic person in the UK, for example, or in a Western country, they don't do everything exactly the same as the Islamic people that are not in Western countries. But the Islamic people that are not in Western countries, the way they treat women, I mean, literally, I'm not going to say anything, because just look at yourself, seriously. Look at the cultures where they're not westernized in that sense, where they're just Islamic, totally 100% Islamic, and look at the way women are treated. You know yourself and let you kid yourself. So that's what she's talking about. Men are in charge of women. It's not the other way around. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, equality and all the rest of it. Feminism, feminism in an Islamic country, feminism in Iran, feminism in Saudi Arabia, feminism. I don't think so. She's just talking common sense. It's just true. It's fact. It's fact. It's what she's saying about how women are viewed and treated. Let's listen to some more video. It's just sense. What she's saying, we're all jumping in. And like that woman, the other woman that we've got like a blue top on with a little thing, whatever, little dots on it. She's like,
That's absolutely
How about in court?
I mean, come on, they are.
She's saying it herself. She went, oh yeah, but some are. Everybody knows that the way women are treated. You don't need me to explain about Islamic tradition with women and how to treat them. You don't need me to explain their culture. You can just, it's obvious. You can just research it yourself. Unless you want to kid yourself and you want to pretend that the Islamic traditions are the same as Western traditions. They're not. They're completely different. It's just like when people from Islamic cultures come to the UK, especially if they're born in the UK, they adopt a lot of the Western ways and the Western ways of thinking. But in Islamic, 100% Islamic cultures, women, you know it yourself, and even in the UK, some women are treated in a certain way in those cultures. It's just fact. Anyway, let's listen to some more videos.
If Robert Jenrick is so concerned about those women, then okay, fine, work with those women in a different way, but don't just
work with them.
Weaponise it. You know what he's doing.
With them. It's a whole religious and cultural outlook. You can't work with them.
And that idiot woman at the end, she's going, oh, you know, if Robert Jenrick thinks that, he should work with those women. He should work with those women. What's she talking about? You can't work with those women. That woman is literally telling the facts, 100% true. People just don't like it. But she said, that woman, that lady, I think she's called Baroness, she's literally telling the truth. She said, she's going, you can't work with those, you can't work with those women. She's not being disrespectful. She's not even, there's no, like me now, I'm literally not insulting anybody in this video. I'm not insulting people. It's common knowledge that these cultures, common knowledge of how these cultures are in comparison to the Western culture. They're completely different. You think these women that are doing these, like, all this Burka or the rest of it, you think Robert Jenrick can go to them and listen, let's reason on that. You think it can't be reasoned within these. They believe it's a culture, it's a religious culture as well. It's their culture. They're not going to change. They don't want to change. You know what I mean? They're not just going to go, oh, let's change that because that guy, conservative guy, Robert said we should change. Let's change because Robert. They're not going to do. That's why that woman's going, oh, they can't reason with these. You can't change them. You can't work with them. It's true. In other words, it's not going to change if you just try and talk to him or talk him out of it. Well, listen, no, you should maybe not wear the Burka. You know, you're going to the bank and you need to. She's trying to say you can't reason in that sense, you know what I mean? Because they're not interested in changing to Western ways of doing things. They've got their own cultural identity and their own way of thinking that they want to preserve and keep going, even though some Muslim countries actually ban the Burka. Anyway, listen, what do you think? Do you disagree with this video? Do you think, no, that Kevin is just Kevin J. Moore? You know, you're being cheeky now. You're saying this. Listen, give me your opinion in the comment section, because at the end of the day, the UK is the UK. If you went to a Muslim country, like I give you an example now, this is a fact, and like I said, there's no insults here, it's just fact. You go to Saudi Arabia, right? I think it's about 99.5% Muslim. You go to Saudi Arabia and you start preaching and just saying, preach about Jesus, say Jesus is Lord and all that, and talk about the Bible. It's what happens to you. You won't last 10 seconds. Go to Saudi Arabia and try and build a church. You won't last 10 seconds. Go to Saudi Arabia and be an atheist, you know, and try to preach about atheism, say, you know, God doesn't exist in evolution, and try and say that you don't believe in prophets, and what happens to you? These cultures are different to Western culture anyway, different. They've got different ways of thinking. It's just simple fact, it's true. That's why what she's saying is factual. Just that people take offense just because she's white. Just because she's white and she's saying it, and she's probably got a lot of money in the bank or something, just because she's white. Ultimately, she's white, so she's trying to say, because she's white, don't listen to her, she's white, she's racist. It's not racist, it's just fact. If she's telling the facts, that's not racist. People get the wrong impression. It's not racist, just saying the facts. Just to get a bit of context, the reason why I mentioned racism there is because comments like this one here, under the original video, where the person describes what she's saying as blatant racism. So that's why I mentioned racism. Some people do view what she's saying as racist, just because she doesn't agree with the burqa. Making reasonable comments about the burqa, it's just common sense really. It's the culture she's talking about. Anyway, listen, you give me your opinion. What do you think in the comment section? Tell me what you think, because I want your opinion. Your opinion, it really does matter to me. I want to see all those comments. Do you disagree with the Baroness, or do you agree with what she said? Were those people in the video virtue signalling, or do you think they're right and they've got a good point? What about Ian Dale? What do you think would happen to Ian Dale? Give me a comment in the comment section. What do you think would happen to Ian Dale if he was in a 100% Islamic country? What do you think if he was in a 98% Islamic country? What do you think would happen to Ian Dale if he openly talked about his way of life and the way he lives and so on? What do you think would happen? Do you think he'd be able to live his life as a nice, peaceful, happy life like he's in this country if he was in an Islamic country? But he's defending, this is the point, he's defending. Just thought I'd tag on this little video at the end just to help you to see the kind of thing the Baroness is referring to. This is a park in Leeds, and some people were filming, and there's a little bit of a back and forth between some people in the park in Leeds. You have a look at the video and make your own decision about what you think. And bear in mind that this is the UK, United Kingdom. I'll just leave it with you. You make your own decision.
Yeah. Sorry?
They're actually part of a school and they're under 16, a lot of them, so I'd really appreciate if we weren't recording.
Right, okay.
I understand it's
You're in the UK,
space.
right? You're in the UK.
Yeah, I understand.
You don't have to wear any of this crap, love.
That's fine.
You're free.
That's my choice.
It's not your choice. You've been conditioned that way.
Public. We appreciate your concern, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
We also don't appreciate the tannoy, is what we're actually filming. We're not filming the people,
Yeah.
we're filming the fact that a tannoy is going on in a quiet public park.
So I think the
where
most mature thing for you to do as adults would have been to approach us and tell us that we really don't want that here.
Do you
and we
think
would have
everybody else here was going to do that?
The people of the park don't have a problem. The management here has allowed us.
Listen, you're not going to change your ways, we're going to change ours. Neither of us are doing anything illegal, is what you're saying.
That's fine. You just take the complaint forward with the management. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to do exactly the same, fully enough.
I do appreciate you do that.
You give me comments in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.